Hello, welcome back to Wild Bird Farm. I'm Tara. I garden here in Zone 5. Today we are going to be doing a very quick and simple project to get going for the cut flower season. Now I have 4 different plants from Baker Creek that I'm going to be direct sowing into the garden. All of these like coolish weather and they prefer to be direct sowed. All of them I am anticipating to use as a bouquet filler. So if you don't have a lot of time or maybe the grow lights to baby a lot of seeds indoors, I think these are great options for you. Okay, if you watched one of my recent videos, I started some fennel back here. It said it preferred to be started indoors, but that is an herb that I'm going to be trying as a cut flower filler. Along with that, I'm also going to be trying coriander. Now I've heard when it bolts, you can use it then or when it has these sweet little white flowers. Now coriander prefers cool conditions. It says to direct sow 3 to 4 weeks before my last frost, and additional successions if you want a consistent supply. Now I am sowing these a little bit late. We are about 2 weeks from our last frost, but we're just going to see how this does. All right, another one that I heard about a couple years back from Nicole at Flower Hill Farm is the incredible swirl coreopsis. Now I grew this one last year. I believe I actually started it indoors last year, which it did fine that way. Today I'm going to start it outdoors, however, just direct sowing. This one says surface sow directly in spring, cover lightly. It calls it a half-hardy annual, so that's our clue that it likes cooler conditions. And then the last 2 I have are 2 varieties of baby's breath. I have the Covent Garden, which is white. I don't think I grew these last year. I definitely have grown them in the past. They push out just profusions of airy white blooms. Really fun and really help fill out a bouquet. And then this carmine pink is new to me, but we're going to try this one as well. Let's see. Now this one says sow in place after the danger of frost has passed, or start indoors. I think we're okay planting this out now. Again, successions sow for continuous blooms on these. As I'm editing this video, I realize I have lost a few clips. So I'm going to hop in here and just kind of tie this story together. So in addition to those we just talked about, as I was looking through my seed packets, I also decided to put in more agrostemma or corn cockle. I had some ocean pearls left from Johnny's, and I had some of this pinky purple color. Let's see, what is it called? Purple Queen from Outside Pride. So I went ahead and I actually started the row with these. Then I worked my way through the baby's breath, both varieties, to the coreopsis that we talked about. I'm trying the coriander. These seeds are pretty good size, so these were the easiest to sow. And then I grew some amobium last year. I didn't have good luck with it, but I have some seeds left. So I finished that row with amobium. So these are my 6 varieties. I also want to mention I'm going to be direct sowing cosmos very soon. And I'm going to put in another succession of saponaria. So if you'll remember, we direct sowed some of that in the hoop house together. And then I have a flat, I think I have a 128 cell tray of that. It's not looking as good as the stuff in the hoop house, but I will be planting that out. That's starting to get hardened off. So this would hopefully be my 3rd succession. So I have those 2 coming as well. And they are absolutely great fillers in bouquets. A lot of these are in the white colorway, but we have some pinks and purples too. I think I'm going to start out with the Apricota Cosmos, which is going to give us that peachy pink color. I also really like the Afternoon White Cosmos. And then of course the saponaria that I'm planting this year is pink. So we are going to head out. I need to prep the garden area, and then we are just going to barely cover all of these seeds and give them a good watering in, since it has been pretty dry around here. First thing I need to do is clear out the space. Now we're in the garden box closest to the gates that I use to come into the field. In that far box is going to be dahlias this year, and to my left will be the sunflower successions. I'm just taking a rake and pulling off a lot of the dead matter. I also use straw in my pathways, so just sort of cleaning that off and giving myself an area where I can refresh the soil. Now, of course, there are specific tools to do this, but I'm loosening up the soil. I'm just using a spade here. It's pretty quick work. Our soil is pretty decent. We aren't hard pan or clay, anything like that, so it breaks up pretty easily. I'm picking up any weeds as I go down the row, and then once I get the soil loosened, I'm going to come back through with a couple of amendments. So just to help you with some layout, my rows here are going to run north and south. And where you're seeing the brighter yellow straw behind me and a little bit in the front is where I have started planting out some cold hardy annuals. So closest to us up here is the annual pincushion, and then I have strawflower and status planted farther back. I'm going to get you a close-up of those plants here in a minute, but I did just want to mention I think the straw really helps not only keep the soil moist, but protect those new seedlings. For us, it's mostly from the wind. As I'm recording this today, the wind is absolutely howling. Yesterday, I had a beautiful day to work outside. Okay, before I go grab the amendments, I thought I'd show you what I have planted. This is a Snow Maiden annual scabiosa. I find that scabiosa handles our winds and harsh cooler temps in the spring so well. Look at those guys. It was super windy yesterday. Still bright green. You'll see the others don't look quite as good. This is the first round of straw flower. Actually don't look too bad. Again, the straw helps hold in the moisture. I did not water yesterday. I watered the day before, but then it was windy all day. But yeah, these are looking good. I'll probably water again today because we're going to have high winds for the next 2 days. And then this is the status, also looking pretty good. And it will grow through this. I mean, eventually when I think that these are mature and a little bit rooted in, I might pull the straw off. Otherwise, they're going to grow right up through it. Some of these aren't looking quite as good as the first ones that we looked at. Like this one looks like it got chewed by something. But they're all still alive, and for just being out here a few days, looking pretty good. Okay, getting to be a real hot, dirty mess. So this is the peat moss that I actually had my dahlias eyeing up in. So I'm reusing that, and then just some composted manure. Spread, you know, not too heavily down the row. I don't think what we're planting, I don't think they're real heavy feeders, so I think we'll be fine. I'm going to take my rake everything in, and then I'll make those shallow channels, and we'll get planting. As I mentioned, just using a sturdy garden rake to rake in those amendments. I really just use natural pathways. So what I'm standing on is last year's straw. So you can tell it's lighter than the gold fresh straw that I'm using to cover the plants. And then there is some dried grass debris. I'm a little nervous having that. I usually pick it up, but I just raked it onto my walking path. I'm hoping that doesn't drop a lot of weed seeds. I'll have to watch that. As I mentioned, I made just very shallow rows here, dropping those seeds in quite heavily. And then I'll come through and just lightly cover with soil. And then I do bring over the sprinkler and give this area a good watering because the soil, while it's not dry, I really want those seeds to have good contact with the soil. that wraps things up for today. Let me know in the comments below what you enjoy direct sowing. Bonus points if they look great in your landscape, or you can use them as cut flowers, or maybe you have something that works for both. We'll see you next time.